Hello, everybody. Buddy Web, Midland, Texas. I'm going to do a video today again about the young girl that I believe that was told about murdered at the 2010 oil show party by my friend Angie. And I've long suspected it was this girl right here whose remains were found in 2013 outside of Midland. This week, there was an update right here. You're looking at it. Update from Texas Rangers that they did a DNA analysis and they figured out it was a black girl. So that was new information. I did a little video on it, but what I left out was some very important clues because, and I'm going to get into, that's what this video is about, is that I'm gonna take you here in a minute. Basically, this guy created this fake ID, sent me a friend's request, and I found out that that he used the name and the birth date of a man that from Odessa that had died on the last day of that oil show. Okay, and then I was told by another woman that the police had been even looking at him to see his connection to that murdered young girl. Okay, so I'm going to show you here, and we're going to jump right in. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover that I think might link together, but these are clues for law enforcement, and I think that's really the holdup. If we can find real law enforcement to follow leads, then it can be solved. You know, I sincerely believe that, and so it's. Here, what we were just looking at, okay, remains of a 14 to 21-year-old girl was found outside of Midland, 2013, and so that's what we're really talking about. Here, as I mentioned a minute ago, okay, here this is two screens, okay. On the top was this guy. He sent me a friend request on Facebook named Michael Williams in that picture. And we had these mutual friends, okay? So you know, he seemed legitimate because we had these 6 mutual friends. And so he was relatively nice for a while. And then somebody told me that his ID was fake, and pointed me to look at this obituary, and it's the same guy. See, okay, the same picture and the same name. Okay, so he stole this dead guy's picture and his name, and he created a fake Facebook ID. I think all these people up here, they know who this guy is. You know, stalker's what he is. I mean, he's a stalker. But anyway, so here's the real Michael Sean Williams, age 39. He passed away on October 28, 2010. Well, as soon as I read that, I thought, wow, that's interesting, because that's the last day of the 2010 oil show party, oil show, and that's when it's believed, when I was told about that young girl being murdered. Angie was at those parties, and they murdered that young girl, and this guy dies on the last day of that oil show, and he worked in the oil field. That's what it's saying. And so I end up blocking this Michael Williams guy. Okay, I'm going to show you here another clue, and a lot of this is for law. I'm going to send this over to law enforcement. Like I said, hopefully, I don't know if they'll follow the leads or not. But here, one thing I noticed was this guy that created the fake ID with Michael Williams' birth date and his picture. Here it said, and I'm going to show you here, the real Michael Williams was born on September 7, 1971, died October 28, 2010. The stalker, this guy, used the birth date on March 7, 1979, which may be his own birthday, okay? And I took a print screen of that going, that would be interesting, because if law enforcement will track this guy, right, I mean, that's all we got to do is track that ID and find out who that guy is, and then go look at his birth date, and then you can start asking him why he created this ID, why he's stalking me. I mean, why, creating a fake ID and then harassing me, the victim of a capital attempted murder. There's some question. Law enforcement can haul him in and start talking to him. Okay. I think right here, let me see on this one. Yes, there's the URL. So law enforcement can go track that guy. They can take that, turn it into IP address, go knock on his door, and go, you were creating fake IDs and harassing a crime victim. We need to, you're under arrest. We need to talk to you, right? And then ask him questions. Okay, here we go. I looked this up, and this was a few years later. I looked up the widow of the Sean Williams, the real Sean Williams from Odessa. Her name's Tymber, and she created an ID named William's son, and so I was asking her questions, trying to see if maybe this Sean Williams had a connection to, the oil show parties. That's what I was wondering. Was he there, whatever? And she was nice at first, and then she got extremely hateful. There are threats coming, the slander, and everything. And so all of a sudden, red flags go up. She does know something. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And so here's what Tymber writes me and tells me. He was 39, Sean, her husband. It says, the cops were serving him a blue warrant to revoke his parole because he was reported for a parole violation, and they were trying to serve him, and he shot himself in the head. Okay, that's what Tymber tells me happened to Sean, okay, on the last day of the oil show, okay? And so I said we have 6 mutual friends. I suspect one of them know who this stalker is that used Michael Williams' name and picture. So I'm going to her and saying, hey, some guy used your ex-husband, your dead ex-husband's picture and name and contacted me, and I'm a crime victim, whatever. Okay, have you asked him? And then I asked her who he worked for because he was a compressor mechanic. So I asked, did he work for CSI as a compressor mechanic? And she said DNR. Okay, Don something is the owner's name. And then I asked her, I said, did DNR have a booth at the oil show? Yes, they did. That's what she told me. I thought, okay, that's interesting. Okay, so there was a connection to the oil show. Okay, and I'm not showing all these. I'm just showing some of these. Then the mother come on real hateful, and I'm going to report you. And like I said, I'm asking questions. She's answering the question. It was real cordial, nice. And all of a sudden this mother comes in and panic and, threats and all this crap right here, And I'm like, I couldn't even figure what was going on because, I'm being polite and kind and we got a murdered little girl here. We're trying to figure out what's going on, and, and I told her, I said, you seem confused as my conversation with your daughter was cordial. I explained to her that somebody took her husband's information, contacted me, and I noticed that he died on the last day of the 2010 oil show. A few days before this, my friend told me about a young girl being murdered at an oil show party. Your sudden rudeness seems to indicate that you know something about that capital murder. Your daughter wasn't rude at all, nor was I. Furthermore, I don't take threats well after surviving a capital murder attempt. I also document and then I post in the public so everybody can read it. Okay, that's where I'm talking to her. But it was her mother using her account. It's what it, I guess that's what they were saying anyway. Let's see what that was the same one. Okay, okay. Oh, and this is more that conversation about the DNR. I said, yeah, he'd been there about a year. And I said, was he there during the evenings of that week, the oil show from the 25th to the 28th? Okay, so I'm trying to see if, an alibi was, could he have been at the underground oil show party? So that's really what I'm trying to figure out right here. And then that's when Tymber says, no, we were fighting and he was staying at a trailer a mile away. So she couldn't account for her dead husband's whereabouts that week that he died, which was the week of the 2010 oil show and that parties, and that's when that young girl was murdered at, and so that was the other thing is that, she couldn't establish his alibi, okay, and so there's that, okay. I want to show you here another person, okay, and this is before I get into the threats here. Another person. She tells me here, she's talking about cops. I kept her name anonymous. She says, they know shit went down at your house. They know about the tunnels. She's saying the cops know that. This is my friend. And then she goes to say, you're starting to freak me out because these people all have one friend in common. Michael's death was under investigation for a while. Don't share this, okay? That's what she's telling me, And I said, what happened yesterday was incredible because it became real clear that Tymber was hiding something. That's the widow, okay? And so that was that conversation about Sean, these people that know Sean. And here's more of it right here. It says, Michael didn't kill himself. That's Sean Williams, okay? And they said they thought for the longest time his wife staged it. Tymber, ain't that interesting? That's what somebody told me, And then she tells me again, I don't know, but Mike was going to leave his wife because he found out a bunch of stuff about her and it freaked him out. Him and my brother were good friends. He was going to put it out there, but he died before he got the chance. I have a long shift, got to go. So that was information that I got from another party about Tymber. Okay, now let me show you a little bit more here. Tymber starts smearing my name online, and I figure out that she's part of this Facebook hate and slander group that was created by Taryn Thomas and Kristen Bushman. And what it was, it had almost 100 members, and it's called Buddy Wayne Web Victims, right? They call themselves victims of me, and I'm the guy home minding my own business that's hunted like an animal and shot and left for dead, right? You know what is right? You know what I think? These are the people that were in the underground home. They were the murder party, is what I'm guessing. You know, they know something about the crimes at my house, and they probably know something about all the other homes that are brig. Okay, so here's Tymber Williamson, and they're talking about me to some guy named Solo, you know, maybe a gang name, I don't know. Real rude stuff. And here's Tymber says he's gonna fuck around and someone really is gonna off his ass. Okay, so I took that as a threat. That was the widow of Michael Sean Williams. Okay, that was one of the print screens I got. Okay. Here's another one. This is in that group. I want to show you Tymber Williamson in this group, Buddy Wayne Web Victims. Okay, I'm going to show you the members of that group in a minute. And here we go. Here's Lindsay Ann, give his info to the Clintons, as in, you know, kill me is basically what it was. And here's Lance Eggleston laughing. Tymber Williams, he's a freaking lunatic, talking about me. Lance Eggleston is the guy that wrote me and said, we have access to your residence at all times. Nobody will ever believe your story. You will be silenced, not if, but when. And I wrote back and I said, when are you going to murder me, Lance? And this guy is a member of this group. He considers himself a victim, and he threatened my life, okay? And I have the print screens to prove it. Okay, here's the mother. Okay, this is the mother of Tymber, Lillian Swafford, and I think she knows something, you know, about it, obviously, because attacking an innocent crime victim is, you know, it's all kinds of red flags go up, you know. And she shares my Facebook. I'm asking everyone to share this freak. He's harassing my daughter and blasting her on Facebook. He's crazy. He thinks my daughter has. I'm so crazy. I've identified 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic. Right. I've got multiple people documented saying there's underground homes and tunnels here. One of them was running for sheriff. That's how crazy I am, right? Okay, Tymber Williamson. People call me crazy. They're trying to do it to cover up capital crimes. Tymber Williams, laughing my ass. I'm fixing to call the cops and file harassment on him. Okay, so there's more of the threats there coming from Tymber. So you can see what happened is, here's a Ruby Marie. He's fucking nuts. Okay, so there's another one right there. And, you know, people that we can investigate, believe them to maybe ask them where they were at, you know, maybe they were with the murder party. Okay, so we hit that, you know, pretty strong there. I just want to show you that. Once again, we'll back up. This guy dies the last day of the oil show party. Somebody creates a fake ID with his name, and you know, so I think there might be a connection there. And then I contact Tymber, right? She's nice at first, doesn't have an alibi for Sean, and then starts attacking me mercilessly. You know, I mean, it's just horrible slander, you know, and there's this whole large group. The other thing I'm going to show you here is the members of that group. I've got a video called that on this Facebook hate slander group that's called the Buddy Wayne Victims Facebook group members, okay? And it was created by Taryn Thomas on October 6, 2018. Taryn Thomas is the person that I have a print screen. She wrote on my Facebook that her and her 10 friends knew that Haley Dunn was at that home over there in Odessa, you know, and everybody knew that the mom and the stepdad and Haley were all on drugs, and supposedly she was buried in that backyard. Taryn Thomas is one of the witnesses for the Haley Dunn murder, okay? You know, and she's the one that created that group. And then the other founding member here was that Kristen Nicole Bushman, right? And interestingly, it was the drug rehab counselor, Christy Otts, that said Brett Bushman told her about how they bent her, broke her, and put her in a box. We're talking about Haley Dunn again, okay? And Kristen, I've got a whole, you know, all kinds of print screens where I was attacked by this Christian Bushman. And Christian Bushman is related to the super wealthy Bushman family over in Odessa that owns CBS 7. They own A1 Mobile Homes. They own the mall. I mean, they own half of Odessa, basically, okay? And so when I'll show you these other names, you can go there and we'll just slowly go down the list. So you can always come back and look at these. These are people here. Most of them were added. That second row is who they were added by. David Mendoza was adding a lot of them, okay? So this is the hate and slander group, okay, that's created against me. And as I said, I mean, I'm the innocent crime victim. I'm just the next guy after the last guy. They murdered the last guy who lived in this house. All I did was buy a home. I mean, that was it. And then they hunted me like an animal, shot me and left me to die, used a corrupt secret police gang to tamper with evidence, lie, and cover up this premeditated capital attempted murder. There's Lance Eggleston on that one. So there's that group. I got a video on that. So there's that. Okay. Now I'm moving on. What I noticed is that there was several stalkers that used the Williams name. Okay, and because here's this Michael Williams, and so whether there's a connection or not, I don't know. But I'm just going to go over them. One of them was a guy named Ken Williams. Because remember, this guy created a fake ID called Sean Williams, but that was a real person. Okay, and I thought that was a clue. And here's another fake ID guy creates called Ken Williams. And this guy sends me a friend request. There's the URL. If law enforcement will track the URL, you can figure out who did that, right? Okay. And so there's the guy. And here I want to show you. Okay. Here he says, I said something about making fake IDs. I can make as many fake IDs as I want. That's what he said, okay? And so, that's where maybe this guy is the one that created this ID. You understand where I'm going with that, right? Because this guy, and then I'll show you these comments here, okay? Here, I'm a secret police. You're a nut. Ha ha. You say you're waiting for an attack. No. Slander, lie. Fake ass story. Slander, lie. Anything to do to cover up multiple capital murders in underground facilities, right? We see that quite often. There's a whole bunch of people that should go to prison for that, for attacking an innocent crime victim. Okay. But here's where I think it's interesting. This ties in the story. This was my Facebook post. The infamous crimes of the secret police have shamed Texas and America. They have. It's the first time in the history of America that a crime victim offered a reward to identify police, right? Not a news story in the nation. It took 6 years to get them identified and a $2,000 reward. That's while I'm living under death threat. And look, as I said, I'm just the guy that bought the house. I'm the next guy after the last guy. They killed the last guy. And then I buy this house. And they tried to kill me and they failed, and they've attacked me and attacked me. And then the police accidentally got caught on camera, covering up this murder attempt. But here's Ken Williams says, I am the secret police. You're not okay. And so I think we read that on that other one there. Okay. This one, okay, the last one I'm going to show you for Ken Williams. I said that. See if I can find it. I don't see it there either. Darn it, that's the same one again. What I'm looking for, and I don't have it, is the link for this guy mentioned this Dr. Stalker video. I seen it a minute ago, and I meant to have it here, and I didn't get it copied over. But this guy was another, well, moving on, Brad Williams. This is another fake name, another Williams name, okay? So now we got Sean Williams, that was a fake name, right? Ken Williams was a fake name, and now we're on Brad Williams, and this all happened around the same time. This guy right here posts on the Midland County Trading Post, okay? And free TVs. I'm giving away free TVs, and he puts my address in, okay? And so once again, and one thing I noticed, here's a picture of Trump at the time, and it seems like a lot of these people were just right-wing fanatics, is what it seems like, Okay, and so that's his picture, and of course I doubt if he's Trump. Maybe he's Trump. I'm joking, but worked at Lowe's, fake ID though, Brad Williams. Okay. Here's the URL for law enforcement if they'll just track the guy down, right? You know, yeah, I bet you find out Brad Williams is Ken Williams is Sean Williams, you know, and you know, they're all, you know, stalking me. Remember, he said, I'll create as many fake IDs as I want, right? Okay. And so here's Brad Williams right here. And here's what I want to show you. This comment. We've noticed that you've been interacting with Buddy the Nut Wayne. This is the Dr. Stalker. Back off now or you'll be put in the list. Do not ignore this message. Okay. That's what I want to show you. That was the reference to this video I made called Dr. Stalker. Okay. I think that might be a clue to identifying who all these, who this guy is that keeps creating these Williams IDs. Okay. And so the Dr. Stalker, let me explain to you what that is. A landman named Keith Tymber, I was getting emails from him, and then he called me on the phone and I recorded it, okay? In them emails was one email where the guy had said, I learned how to fake x-rays back in the 70s during the war, okay? And so I have a print screen of this guy saying that. He used 5 different fake IDs. You know, actually, I was getting 5 different email accounts. I believe them all to be fake. They're probably all from the same person that created. This guy is an obsessive, relentless stalker, creates multiple fake IDs, sends me friend requests, right? But I think if we can identify him, then we can find, you know, that's a clue coming back to these murders and these crimes, you know, obviously, right? And so the Dr. Stalker video here, I'm going to show you here. I got it right here, Dr. Stalker, okay? And you can see it was May 27, 2018. Brad Williams, I'm Dr. Stalker. Ken Williams mentioned Dr. Stalker. Now, here's what I'm going to play just a little bit. This is the phone call with landman Keith Tymber, okay?
No, yeah, sure, go ahead. Okay, I'm very familiar with her, right?
I've never met her before, but I was doing land work with a co-worker. We got more or less an argument, and he told my identity and pretty much tried to falsify documents in my name. And so when I confronted him, he pulled a gun on me, so I left. And the next thing I know, I'm being arrested by April Chandler and Detective Williams.
Detective Williams.
Williams, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, he's from Hobbs.
From Hobbs, my hometown of Hobbs, New Mexico. And he's with dirty cop April Chandler. Remember, she's there with Rosie Rodriguez when they planted my stolen cell phone behind my nightstand, you know. And she's one of the secret police was April Chandler. And that's what this guy, Keith Tymber, the landman, saying. Hey, what he was really saying is that he's an oilfield landman. Some of my top suspects are landmen, right? And so they told him to don't look around the Walmart store because they do seismographs, underground surveys, etc. And so he said, I did anyway, and I found something. That's in this video, in this phone call. I found something underground by Walmart. And that Walmart is only about half mile away from my house. And it's one of the 5 Walmarts that was mysteriously shut down in 2015 during Jade Helm. That's what he's talking about. Well, he says, well, then I get framed by April Chandler and this cop from Hobbs named Williams. Well, and remember, the Williams keep mentioning the Dr. Stalker video, okay? Ken Williams mentioned Dr. Stalker. Brad Williams mentioned Dr. Stalker, you know. And then we got old Michael Williams over here, which is a real guy that's dead, right? And, you know, and they're creating all these fake IDs. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Now, I'm this last Williams, which is may or probably not connected, but his name's Williams, and I think he has a connection here, and it's interesting, so I'm going to add this one in. This is the last one. Okay. Well, it will be the famous billionaire oil man, Clayton Williams, okay? I was doing research on the builders of my home, and I found out a company named Tymber Construction built my home and all the homes in my little cul-de-sac and 9 homes, okay? And so while doing that, I noticed that the office director, the vice president of Tymber Construction was our Aaron Geibel. Okay, and Aaron Geibel here, and I think he was director of Clandestine National Bank. That was the bank for billionaire oil man from Midland, Clayton Williams. Okay, Aaron Gobble, the vice president of the company that built my home, died on the famous Clayton Williams plane crash on Valentine's Day 1990. Okay. Clayton Williams was running for governor of Texas at the time, and his plane goes down and kills 5 people. One of them is the vice president of the builder of my home, okay? And then so I'm going, that's interesting. I wonder if this billionaire old man knows about multi-million-dollar underground homes where they're having oil show parties. Do you see where I'm going with that? Okay, so there's Aaron Gobble was one of the 5 executives that died on that plane crash. Another guy that died there was Randy Kidwell. Randy Kidwell was married to Suzanne. Suzanne goes on to marry Mike Conaway, U.S. Congressman Mike Conaway. Her brother lived across the street from my home at 3809 Fair Circle, the brother-in-law of Congressman Conaway. Conaway announced his retirement 2 weeks after I got that video of showing concrete being poured behind my house, where I showed Homeland in 2019, where I believed a tunnel was going from the Home Depot store to my home, okay? And isn't it a small world there? Okay, so that gives you an idea who Clayton Williams is. Another interesting connection with that Williams on the Clayton Williams, this is the mother of Mike Lawhon, the previous young homeowner of my home, died 2 weeks before I got here. He died the week before the 2008 oil show started, okay? And here she used to live in Midland, and she worked for the Plaza Club. That was Clayton Williams' private club, okay? So the mother of Mike Lawhon used to work for Clayton Williams. There's another link. Ain't that interesting, okay? One thing that Clayton Williams is famous for is this gaffe. This is what cost him the election when he was running for governor of Texas. Clayton Williams on rape. It's like the weather. If it's inevitable, relax and enjoy it. March 25th, 1990, Texas campaign. Okay. And so that's very famous. You can Google that, okay? And so that was his idea. And that makes you wonder about the underground rape and murder facilities, right? Texas oil legend Clayton Williams scores $1 billion payday and sell to Noble Energy. This was 4 years ago. And so he sold his company for $4 billion. And so he's no longer alive. There's Clayton Williams Jr., I think, probably has all that $1 billion. Okay. And there we go. Clayton Williams, old man whose gaffe cost an election, dies at 88 years old. And I think that was in 2020. Here he is with a picture of George Bush. Okay. All right. Who I'm sure he's supported. Okay. And so I just wanted to go over that. And, if law enforcement would look at that, I think there's clues maybe back into the murder of that young girl. Because that's where we started, right? That this guy dies right here on the week of the 2010 oil show party. And that's when Angie told me about a young girl being murdered. I think the young girl that was murdered is the one whose remains were found in 2013. And I've already gone over how I think there's connections. These people might know who it is. Okay. Buddy Wade, Midland, Texas.